Yeah, I was gonna say it's 50. Like we're 55 minutes in. Let's
Oh,
let's
yeah.
do a hard segue into the big thing: Elon Musk taking over Twitter. Like myself and Scoriox, so we're in Australia, so Twitter's not the biggest thing for us.
Mhm.
Poor man printing. I'm sure this is like you guys and your friends around America are way bigger into this. What's your take on that? And what are your feelings on the consensus that's going out right now?
Well, I was having a discussion today on Twitter with a certain
Yeah.
someone, but I think it's great, and I'm gonna tell you why. Taking the political part away, don't look at that. Look what Elon supports: Dogecoin, right, which is crypto, Bitcoin, right? You see what I'm saying?
You're killing me.
Elon is my daddy. Hell yeah, I'm talking about Walker fella. You're not talking like that. You're just a little old girl. But so crypto and everything he touches thrives. Look at Tesla. I had Tesla back in the day. Didn't know what it was. I bought a crap ton of it. And I was like, sat on it for a little while. It dipped down. I didn't know much about trading anything back then. So I sold it. What a freaking idiot.
Yeah.
So I look at it like that. Free speech. I'm all about American values. I'm just going to say that. I'm all about American values. And I think he's going to get rid of all the bots. And I think more companies and more people, they already are. There's more people coming to Twitter now already. So I think it's a great thing. I really do.
What about you, TSG?
Yeah, honestly, I've honestly just started to get more into Twitter after making like YouTube content, NFTs, because obviously that's where the space is, right? Because in Australia, in general, we don't really use Twitter like that. Not that I'm aware of anyway. But man, it's kind of blown me away what the consensus is like, how everyone's like hating on Elon taking over Twitter. Like, I don't.
That's the left and the right. The left and the right. They're equal.
The idea of like he's a billionaire and he's going to control it, I get that. But if he's out here saying like he's ill-intentioned and he's like, yo, I'm banning these people, the things that he's saying is, I want more free speech. I want to allow people to go out there and say what they want to say. Obviously, there's going to be rules like stopping like threats of violence, things like that. There are going to be things in place, but you shouldn't be. And this is just like, I'm going to go into like a philosophical thing now. Sure. But like as a teacher, my whole thing is we shouldn't be banning conversations. If you disagree with it, debate it. Actually debate it, because over the long period of time, the better argument will win. So it's like, let them at it. The younger generation is going to kind of learn from the older. They're going to hear the ideas like we hear our parents speak and we're like, man, your idea is just stupid now. But if we didn't even hear it, it's not useful at all. Having that out there, yes, there's going to be like, it's impossible to create a perfect world. So to kind of curate that, I'm just realizing it now. We're so used to social media and Instagram where we all curate a perfect life that we're trying to do the same thing as a society. We're trying to curate, no, this is what is right. And it's just absurd. Like, let it all play out. Let people just discuss and debate. Intellect will always win out in the end, in my opinion, over the long run. Short term, it might not win. Socrates was voted to get executed by his peers. So short term, it might not win. But long term, I think intellect will come out on top. And we need to let that play out. The same as an open market. Controlling that shit just doesn't make sense to me. I think let things play out in the natural way that it should. And it all will be better. So I'm a huge fan of Elon doing what he's doing. Like what Jeff Bezos has Washington Post. All of these guys have all of these, like, it just, yes, a billionaire is doing billionaire things.
Yeah.
Like, like, what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do? Yeah, Scoriox, go for it, man.
Yeah. To me, there's two major facts here. The first one is that even Elon said it himself, there are better investments out there. There's other investments he could put into and he would make more money. I don't believe in just trusting anyone for their word. So even though he's saying it's all about free speech, that's not necessarily true. But I do believe, considering there are better investments out there, we have to consider that there are motives bigger than money for him to buy Twitter, okay? And that brings me to the second fact. Elon, a lot of people talk about Elon in a really interesting way where he never really built anything. He built his first company, okay? He had a large amount of startup capital from his family to do so. He built it and sold it and did really well. His other companies, Tesla and SpaceX, he actually bought them after they were not profitable and not doing particularly well and stuff like that. But this is the second point I want to bring up. Everything he has bought and built up with his name on it has improved, become profitable, done better, become useful. It has gone up in value, okay? I'm not saying history is always repeating itself.
Yeah.
But if you take that at face value and don't look deeper into it, then in theory, Twitter isn't profitable, it loses money every year. If he buys Twitter and makes effective changes like he already wants to, clearly, then in theory, it should also improve and go up in value. Just based on history. I'm not talking about anything else here. I'm trying to be very black and white, and I know that's not the best way to look at this, but it should be worth considering.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I think it's going to be massive for crypto as well. Not like, I would say massive, but I think it's going to have positive connotations for crypto as well. Because obviously, like Poor Man said, he's a huge advocate for crypto. Twitter, especially in America and globally, is where, like, I forget who it was that where I saw this, but it's interesting. Like, the Washington Post shares news on Twitter. All of these news sites, like, owning the news publisher is kind of useless now because they go to Twitter. So it's the same thing now with like crypto. Like, everyone is using Twitter as the town square. That's the comparison everyone's kind of saying, right? So if that's the town square and the owner of the town square is an advocate for crypto, the ripple effects, like, it seems inevitable in my opinion. So I think the more integration that he comes up with, it's just going to kind of slowly take over one person at a time, and it's just going to kind of just unravel. And like I said, it's going to be a long-term thing. It's not going to be like, all right, next week everyone's on crypto. It's not going to be that. Nah. But I think, long-term.
I agree.
Yeah. Do you have any closing thoughts on the whole Elon thing? Because like we're over an hour and we could wrap this up.
Just have to wait and see,
Yeah.
I know it's going to be good. It's going to be a good thing. It's going to be a good thing for in crypto. As far as a platform, just like Scoriox said, I believe Twitter's gonna make a change, and then you're gonna start seeing some trends up, brother.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a good thing, but I think everyone's going to be really impatient. I think this is one of those things that's going to be a really slow improvement. And a lot of people are not going to see that. They're going to be like, oh, nothing's changed. What's happening? It's going to take a while to fix something like this and make it into a better place. But once that happens, everyone will look back and be like, cool.
Well, it's going to take 6 months for him to even start taking over, right? 6 months before he starts taking over. Then you've got to like adjust the team. You got to like get rid of people, get new people. That's a process in itself. So yeah, man, it's going to take like a year at least, 2 years at least before we start seeing any significant changes. Again, that's just speculation. I'm not actually sure, but I think I'm pretty good with time frames.
Yeah, it's going to take time. Take time for anything.